Managing relationships, both personally and professionally. Is it something you should do with your team, such as have a really close personal relationship, or should it always be strictly business? Lots of different ideas and thoughts about it. Let's go and explore it right now. So there has always been a lot of different ideas and thoughts and conjecture out in the marketplace as to whether a manager, boss, leader, however you want to phrase it, business owner, works and engages with their team. We can't deny it because, let's be honest, for many, many years and probably for 20 plus years now at least, there's been a lot of management ideas and ideologies from business owners and senior managers, etc., that you shouldn't have a close personal relationship with your team. And I can tell you a great example of one of my first jobs. I was doing program coordinating at a local gym while I was at finishing up university and things like that. And that was before I even started my first company, funnily enough, while I was still at uni in my final year. That's a totally different story about making up my own business cards on Publisher and all those type of things. Oh, so amateur. Anyway, back to the situation in regards to having that relationship and whether you should. Now, my boss at the time was one of the a lot more old school management, where he firmly believed that you shouldn't have that type of personal relationship with your team members or your staff, as he used to say. So he wouldn't come out and have beers on a Friday afternoon. And I'm not condoning or saying that you should be going out getting pissed with team members. That's not it. But he was very much of the firm belief that if you had if you go out and have some drinks and things like that with your staff, then it would potentially blur the lines between management and how you were seen as a friend in the workplace and things like that. And whether we want to believe it or not, that has been a well-held paradigm for the management side of business for decades. Yes, absolutely, it has changed quite significantly in more recent years. And I think that anyone that's holding on to those type of old school ideologies in regards to how they should or shouldn't behave with personal relationships with team members, I think needs to really change. I think it absolutely is imperative that we have a very good understanding and closeness with all of our team. And the reason why I'm talking about this today is I was just actually having a good conversation with one of my clients over in New York. And she's in the medical side of things. I won't give away too much information, but she's in the medical side of things, does a lot as a cosmetic surgeon and doctor. And she was saying to me she feels like, particularly in the last few months, some of the new team members that she's had to bring on don't feel like that she's got the right level of sort of respect there, and she feels that it's not so much a respect, actually. It's more of a, how did she phrase it? She said to me that it was more based around the fact that she feels like they're all good friends, and she feels like she's not able to manage a more consistent level of performance from them. That's how she phrased it to me. And so when we break this down, it's a really interesting, ideology. And first of all, we've got to try and look at whether this is just her, my client, in New York as more of a perception. Is it just that she's perceiving that they are feeling like they're friends or close friends, so that the perception is that she can't scrutinize them more than what she does? She can't sort of manage firm but fair, as I like to explain it. And so some of the time, this can actually be in the business owner's head, that there isn't actually a disrespect. There isn't actually an avenue where she can't, or you can't, if you're in this situation where you can't actually manage firm but fair and hold the team members to a high level of accountability. A lot of the time it is actually just a perception, and it's a misplayed perception in your own mindset about whether you can or should or could. So that's the first thing that we need to understand. But secondly, in these situations, I feel that it is exceptionally powerful in today's, I guess, society, if you want to, phrase it quite openly and broadly. But in today's society, more than ever, our society, we crave belonging. We crave to be around good people that are like us. Like attracts like. We want to desperately be accepted. We want to be part of communities. Like we have our sporting tribes, and people, bleed for their team and all these type of things. And we hear that type of stuff all the time. We've become very passionate and probably a lot more solidified as a country, and in times of, what we've gone through, even just in the last 12, 16 months with things like COVID. So we've become a lot tighter and a lot closer. There's been a lot more changes in people's mentality regarding trust, and whether we trust the media or trust politicians, or, and we're not going to get into the hypotheses and conspiracy theories about microchipping and vapor trails and 5G and vaccinations that are going to, put microchips and all that type of BS, to be totally honest. But it does show that we're becoming a lot more tighter circles, right? We have got tighter circles of families and friends. We're wanting to make sure that we know a lot more about the people that we invest our time and energy with, a lot more than what's ever been out there before. And so as a net result, if you think about that from a business point of view, anyone who's trying to be a business owner, a manager, a good leader, you got no choice but to actually become closer personally and have better personal relationships with each of your team members, because it's what is out there in society. It's how people's mentality is towards so many aspects of their life, and their workplace and their work team and their workplace culture is just an extenuation of the same feelings towards their families and friends. And so we really need to make sure that we're creating that circle of safety, and that we have really good personal, strong relationships with each of our team members. Now, that's not saying personal relationships, we need to be stupid and, go forward and have, like sexual encounters, or even just push the boundary too far and have, innuendos and all that type of stuff in place. It's not. It's just actually being able to have a relationship where you know a lot more about each of your team members, whether it's about what they do in their own time, or what's happening with their family, or maybe it's some of the interests that their kids have. Maybe they don't have kids, and the partner and themselves have, dogs, and they might go to dog shows, or they might just, it doesn't really matter, is I guess what I'm trying to say. What matters is that you as a business owner, our manager, leader, etc., are taking time to foster that personal relationship and become stronger, have a stronger bond and relationship with each person personally, so that it's not just about business. Now, the second part about this client of mine in New York was saying that wanting the consistent performance from them as well. Well, that ultimately, I think I'd actually go as far as saying it actually all the time. It's actually a misperception that we can't actually, hold friends that are, or people who have good personal relationships in a work sense to a solid, consistent performance level. That's actually a complete myth, because we can and we should. And I do. There's no reason why we should be playing favourites. There's no reason why we shouldn't be having a fair playing field with all the team members, so that everyone has their own KPIs. We've all got very clear, defined KPIs. We know individually and as a team what needs to be done and how it needs to be done. And I think these type of conversations wouldn't need to be in place from a business owner, manager, etc., if we had a better team culture and some really clear, probably more so KPIs, not even KPIs, in place. Because what it then does is it sets that culture framework of people like us do things like this. And that's one of my things I love saying, and it's something that I'm super grateful for being able to have lunch with Seth Godin 7 or 8 years ago now, when he taught me that at the lunch table with him. And people like us do things like this. And when you think about it, when you can instill that team culture in that avenue, then it's not about performance. It's not about accountability. It's just about this is who we are and this is what we believe in. And if it means that we need to start all conversations and have a lot of extra fun and banter and be, personal and manage those conversations and relationships, then that's fine and that's great. And it's so easy for us to be able to do that. But we just need to put a little switch in. It's a little tactic that I have. It's called the switch, which makes it very clear and obvious to the person that we're chatting to that we're now going to move from a personal conversation through to a business or, professional type conversation. And it's a very simple process that I work with all of my clients with. It's super simple and easy. And as a net result of doing that, it very much means that you can define when we're talking about, love and sport and personal things, animals and pets and family life, etc. And when we're actually going to go, nope, that's parked here on the left. And now we're going to talk on the right, which is all about the professional side of things. And away we go. So it's very easy to do that in place. And I think it's just a misunderstanding and a missed perception by a lot of business owners that feel that they can't actually have that personal and professional relationship in place and that they need to separate that because they can't manage in that respect. I think if you admit that and you honestly believe that, I think that's actually just showing a weakness in your confidence levels and a weakness in your ability to be a good manager. And I say that with all due respect because I don't mean that to be disrespectful, but that's totally what it comes down to. So absolutely, you should be working a personal relationship with each of your team members, not staff, team, right? You want to make sure that you know about them because it breeds so much of a better work culture and it actually shows that people care. You're able to better help people out personally and professionally, empower people, and you develop that trust level where you will be prepared to help them out more if you guys are good friends, and they will be more prepared to help you and the team out and others around them when they know, not just perceive it, but they know that they are, good friends with the team and yourself. So let's make sure that we're really clear about that. Let's not give in to, misperceptions or lack of our own, perceptions around our own ability, etc. Let's get stuck in and make sure that we have really strong relationships in place. And then if we need to put accountability and performance measures in place, it's not that we can't because we're friends. That's an excuse. It means that we can and we should, and we do it in the right way. So we can manage firm but fair, but make sure it's very clear about when we're talking personally and when we're talking professionally. Hope that helps. If you want some more help with it yourself, more than happy to reach out. Let me know how I can help in that avenue because it's a really important avenue as a good business leader and business owner that you need to be able to not just know about, but also manage and also enhance if you want even more success in the future. I'll talk to you again very soon. Hey guys, thank you very much for listening to another episode of the Profitable Practice Podcast. I would love nothing more than for you to be able to leave a review. I get so much joy out of listening and reading the amazing things that you guys say about this. So please subscribe to our channel, leave a review, and share it with your friends. Let's get some more fantastic information out there so all of us can grow the industry together. Cheers for now.